Alright, let's do this. Hold it. Let me switch this. Alright, everyone. Welcome back to Name That Game, where we test your retro gaming knowledge and dive into some fun, nerdy facts along the way. Today's mystery game comes from the Super Nintendo era, a time where living rooms were filled with pixel magic and the sweet sounds of cartridge clicks. This game is one of the most famous arcade titles ever made, but the version we're looking at today came to the Super Nintendo in 1996, long after its original arcade debut. See if you can guess it before the reveal. Let's power up and start dropping some clues. Now, the goal of this game is simple but dangerously addictive. You guide a character through a maze, chomping pellets while avoiding four colorful ghosts that are absolutely determined to ruin your day. Eat a power pellet, and suddenly the hunter becomes the hunted. The ghosts turn blue, and it's dinner time. The Super Nintendo version added something pretty cool though. Unlike the original arcade version, this port introduced new maze themes, bonus stages, updated visuals that made the game feel fresh for the 16-bit era. And yes, the gameplay is still just as intense. You start thinking you're a maze running genius until the ghosts start coordinating like the tactical strike team. Nerdy fact number one. The game wasn't made by the original creators. Here's a wild fact a lot of people don't know. The original Pac-Man was created by Toru Iwatani at Namco, but Ms. Pac-Man actually started as a fan project. A group of creators created a mod called Crazy Otto, which modified Pac-Man with new mazes and improved Ghost AI. Instead of shutting it down, the arcade company Midway Games loved the idea so much they turned it into an official game. That means one of the most iconic arcade characters ever was originally a fan-made upgrade. Talk about Ultimate Mod success story. Another reason this game became legendary is the Ghost AI. Each ghost had different personalities and behavior patterns. Blinky chased you aggressively, Pinky tried to ambush you, Inky behaved unpredictably, and Clyde kind of does his own weird thing. In the original Pac-Man, the mazes were almost the same, but Ms. Pac-Man introduced multiple maze layouts, which made it much harder to memorize patterns. In other words, you couldn't just learn one perfect route and dominate forever. The game forced players to actually react and improvise, which is probably why it ate so many quarters in arcade. When this game came to the Super Nintendo, developers didn't just copy the arcade version. They added new mazes, designs, more color, and smoother animation thanks to the Super Nintendo hardware. Some versions even included two-player modes, letting friends compete to see who could survive the longest. Which sounds friendly at first, until someone steals the last power pellet and leaves you surrounded by ghosts. Retro betrayal at its finest. Alright, time for the big reveal. If you guessed Ms. Pac-Man on the Super Nintendo, you're absolutely right. This game remains one of the most beloved arcade games of all time, and many fans actually consider it better than the original Pac-Man. Not bad for a game that started as a fan mod. It's fast, chaotic, and still ridiculously fun decades later. And honestly, few gaming sounds are more satisfying than chomping pellets while ghosts panic and run. Did you guess the game before the reveal? Let me know down in the comments section. And if you love retro games, arcade classics, and nerdy gaming history, make sure to follow along because you never know what game might show up next in Name That Game. And as always, game on, everyone.